We got a great question that came in via email about carpenter ants. And carpenter ants can do a ton of damage to your house. Because you know something? They're doing it to mine. See this piece of trim? As you can tell, it came off my house. If you've been seeing some of my segments where I've been working on it. Now let me show you what the other side is. This is what can happen to trim on your house. This was on the front of my house, right over the top of my front door, and it is hidden damage. Now people think that carpenter ants come in and are eating the wood. No, they're not. They're actually just making a nice little house in it to nest. So let's talk about carpenter ants for a minute, and I'll tell you how the best way to deal with it is. First off, in the Pacific Northwest, carpenter ants do more damage than termites. Other places of the country, termites will ravage homes. Here, not so much. We do have them, but it's not the same as carpenter ants. Carpenter ants go at a much slower pace, but they feed on many of the same things. But the biggest thing you can do right off the bat is prevent moisture from coming into your wood. They love to make nests in a moist environment, which means any place that doesn't have caulking right, or you have a weird overhang or something like that, or it's not protected, that is a prime real estate for carpenter ants. What's the difference between carpenter ants? You'll see the little tiny sugar ants coming around. At the end of them, you'll see maybe a couple different bulbs at the end of them. That's just a regular sugar ant or a different kind of ant. Carpenter ants are these big, fat, meaty ones, and they have just one round end on them. What can you do about them? Well, of course, I talked about sealing things up, but making sure that you have all the branches not touching your house, not touching the power and cable lines. Cables coming into your house, maybe it's from the power company or whatever. If something's touching those, that's just a highway right into those openings. You don't want that. Now, I usually say if you've got an active nest inside your house, this is where you bring in the professionals. You can buy some stuff over the counter, but you know something? A lot of them are pretty nasty, and there's no sense using this stuff wrong. This is really to protect your house. Bring in that pest control expert to tackle this for you, because you want to do it once and finish it. All right, we had a great question come in about how to clean concrete, and it's really easy as long as you have the right tools. First off, I just get a garden sprayer that I use for cleaning around the house, and I put in any one of the different pressure washer cleaners out there. A lot of them are the same, but you want it to do the job. And so here's what I do. First off, safety glasses are key. We're just gonna go through here and get this completely covered. And first, there's a bunch of little tips that you can do with the pressure washer. And we don't have to get too violent with it, but any one of these different tips are good. This is the high pressure one here. That's good for doing little tiny spot things. We have a wider one. It gives us more of a 25 degree. That's a little wider spray. There's a soap one. And then my favorite is actually this high pressure one right here that kind of gives a pulsating spray, and it does a really good job of breaking things down. Let me put these back on here and I'll show you how this goes. So there's our soap. Get my hands cleared up for you. So we'll put this tip on here. Let's start the pressure washer up. And I'll show you. We're just going to want to work on a nice sweeping pattern. And then we can see really how much dirt is starting to come off of that. This is almost a little bit therapeutic as you're doing it. You can really see how we're taking this from black all the way down to fresh new concrete. Now, if you've got brand new concrete or a finish on it, pressure washer is probably not your right tool for this. This is where you're going to go the old scrub brush method. But really, this is the way you clean the concrete up. If we look right here, you can already see the difference of what we've got. I'll get some of the soap off here. You know, it's really that simple. A good pressure washer, and if it's a big job, you can get some rotary heads that'll do a big swath if you have a lot of concrete to do. Either that, or you can hire a company to do it. This is an easy DIY project that you can tackle any weekend of the year. If you've got a question you'd like me to answer on the show, scan the QR code on your screen now. You may even make it on a future edition of Around the House Northwest.